Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Weekend Big Show, powered by Law Dog Sports. I am Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, here with you on a cold Friday in the Great Plains, joined as always by my partner and friend, Jeremy Schroeder. Jeremy, I tell you, we laugh about bread and milk and eggs being having to run on any time that the local weather guys predict that there's going to be a dusting. But I put one thing together about people, and you want to know what that is?
What is that?
Bread, milk, eggs, French toast.
Well, the big bread, big dairy cartel.
Yeah, you have a lobby.
This is when they make their bones this time of year. It was nuts, man. The wife went to, I think, every store in our area a couple days ago. Says there's no bread and there's no milk. Like, yeah, that's what happens. Big bread, big dairy.
It's coming in on a Friday. You got to hit it by Tuesday.
Yeah, right.
You're out. Well, welcome to the Weekend Big Show, and we have quite a show for you today. A little catch up as we missed out on our preview and recap of the national championship game. And as you hear right there, you know what I'll be dealing with during this program, but we will bear through. And we are sponsored by CCW Safe, legal self-defense coverage with plans starting as low as $19 a month. Use the link down at the bottom of the scroll to check them out. And if you get a plan, we get a little kickback from it. So we want to promote them. Self-defense support with deep expertise, personal care, and self-defense coverage that goes beyond the basics. That's the team at CCW Safe, and I trust them from everything to legal defense to physical, financial, emotional support. I got to say, if this had been around when I was a rookie police officer, Jeremy, I probably would have jumped on the train even then.
Absolutely. Hey, we just got breaking news to start the show off.
You going with the Pete Thamel report?
College football playoff staying at 12 games for 2026. So
staying at 12 teams. Wow.
12 teams, 11 plus Notre Dame.
So who wins that argument, Sankey or Petiti?
I mean, who
won that joust?
Probably Sankey, because I don't think
that's what I thought.
Yeah, I didn't think he was too big on the model that the Big Ten was proposing, which was
every Big 5, 5, 2, 4, 4, 9, 9, 3, 5.
Yeah, all 16 Big Ten teams are automatic qualifiers.
Pretty much.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I tell you, that is interesting news, especially because I saw it break on Twitter from Pete Thamel, and it says 10 minutes ago, and I thought, wow, how fitting that we're doing a college football recap and preview. But no, it's just, the powers that be are going to maneuver and finagle, and really, I'll just say this before we get too deep in the woods on it. Another couple of years of the Big 12 kind of asserting themselves into a playoff picture. Maybe a team gets a win. Maybe they have two teams that really have a viable argument to get in. And then, you start getting partnerships and alliances. I mean, it's basically like Survivor college football, isn't it?
It definitely is. And man, the upper half of the Big Ten is good to great. The lower half is.
But you know what? I thought that about the ACC too, and the ACC showed out a little bit in the bowls. I mean, I don't have the exact record, but I remember thinking Wake Forest would get trucked, and they played pretty well. And
while we're on that subject, I would like to take our good friends in Lubbock to task.
Sure.
For the absolute just abomination of a 2026 football schedule.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday. That's
bad.
I'm
sorry. If you lose one game in conference, if I'm on that committee, sorry, you don't have the body of work. Yeah. Abilene Christian, Oregon State, Sam Houston. Those are your out-of-conference teams you're playing.
Yeah.
You got Houston, Colorado, Arizona State, Cincinnati, Arizona, West Virginia, an improved Oklahoma State. We'll see. Proof's going to be in the pudding on that one. Baylor and Texas Christian.
I think I saw Bill Connolly put on ESPN or on his article on ESPN that he's kind of thinking OSU might be the team that bounces back from the dreads to some sort of run.
They could. I mean, they could. It kind of feels like the Indiana model where he's bringing in a bunch of guys that have played for him, that have played a lot of football, into a conference that let's not sugarcoat it. It will not take a Herculean effort to be in the top half of that conference.
No,
wouldn't you agree? I mean, you got Texas Tech, Brigham Young's going to be good.
Houston.
Maybe. I
mean, I'm just giving
Houston's athletic department
Willie Fritz the benefit of the doubt because of what he's done so far.
Oh, I like Willie Fritz. But as far as athletic department values, I think the most valuable athletics department in the Big 12 is Utah. And I think they just crested the $500 million as far as value.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that value list earlier with Texas and A&M basically kind of
it's
Ohio State.
It's nuts when you had $2 billion plus, evaluated programs with Oklahoma and Texas both lead the conference, and their best is half that. It's insane.
Yeah. Well, that is something I want to get into as we go along later, because I read some stuff by Aaron Torres that I thought was interesting, but particularly regards to Texas Tech and Cody Campbell. But before we do that, just say, Chuck, remember you were going to talk about Cody Campbell and his take on Blue Bloods. But anyways, there was a championship game on Monday night, and what a championship game it was. Thank you, Dan Narva, for checking in. He said somewhere I saw a post of the non-conference opponents for each of the past 3 national championship winners. All were weak. Yeah, I mean, but if you're playing in a conference, unlike Notre Dame, you're going to get some benefit of the doubt.
Sure. And I like what the SEC and the Big Ten do. You're playing one team from another power conference in the out of conference. Don't care if you schedule, 2 channel Coach Stoops, East Popcorn State for the other 2. Play someone else from a Power 4. Just for the intersectional drama that can. Oklahoma, Michigan, wow. Texas playing Ohio State. That's great. You got brands. You want to see the brands play, especially early in the season. Doesn't matter as much, but it's a lot of fun.
Sure.
And college football should be fun, right?
It's got to be. And I said this, I think, to you. I mean, you've got to keep the regular season meaningful.
It's got to be relevant.
It's got to be relevant. And while if I were wearing Texas orange, which I would probably go hang myself afterwards, but if I were wearing Texas orange, I would understand the frustration of, going on the road to open the season at Columbus and falling in a 1-score game. But, I mean, and the argument is, you don't drop to a terrible Florida team. But having said that also is, with regards to, how you're finishing the season, and OU has been the beneficiary of that several times. The 2008 season where they were steamrolling people and had lost head to head to Texas, but the 3-way tie.
45 neutral field.
45-35 neutral field, Chris. But I mean, OU has benefited from those late surges. I think that 2017 team with Baker Mayfield, that really is probably the best team we've seen OU field in.
Was that the Sugar Bowl team that beat Auburn?
No, it would be the one that lost to Georgia in overtime.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So even with that one, there were people trying to argue to get Ohio State in that, even though they had lost to Oklahoma earlier in the season. But Oklahoma was just such a steamroller offensively that, they took care of business. And then 2018 with the Kyler Murray season, you lose to Texas in the Red River Shootout, but then you just
rematch.
You get a rematch and you demolish everybody else. and you can make an argument by the performances. The 2017 team deserved every bit of playoff minutes they earned. 2018, maybe there was an argument for another team. 2019, any team not named Clemson would have been scored on 63 by Joe Burrow.
Oh yeah, and Oklahoma scored in every quarter in that game.
Sure, and
it's nuts. They just got housed.
There was nobody going to stop them. Even Clemson had an amazing team that year, and I think that was
is that Lawrence's last year? No,
it was.
Okay.
It was the year after they won the national.
Okay.
Wait, yeah, because
it might have been Lawrence's second year because
it was his second year because he won the title as a freshman. Because the team that beat the Alabama team that beat OU, that was up 28-0 in the first half, lost to that Clemson team in the championship. So, anyways, so my point being is and I do want to recap Monday night's game, but my point being is that you are going to have, detractors on every situation, but in this day and time, with teams wanting to schedule quality marquee matchups in the non-conference, I mean, you're going to have to either expand it, get rid of the G5s or whatever. But and I hate to think that I'm making an argument for Texas here, but I mean, Alabama got in with 3 losses, and Texas was playing a lot better than them at the end of the season. So I don't know.
Well, my problem with the Alabama is if you're not gonna punish a team for losing their conference championship,
don't have them.
Then don't have them.
Yeah.
What's the point of them? I mean, Alabama got smoked by Georgia in that conference championship game and gets in and should have lost to Oklahoma, but
hey, every team finds one last gasp of life.
I know,
and can put together something, and then like I said, OU.
I'm not saying OU
won that game, but then you go out to the Rose Bowl, spend a bunch of money, and Indiana kicks your head in.
Yeah, and I don't know that Oklahoma would have fared any better against Indiana, but what I would like to have seen happen. Just catch it. Don't drop a punt on the ground. Don't miss chip shot field goals.
Well, and you want to win a home playoff game in an atmosphere that, as I wasn't there, but it's been described as one of the best atmospheres in Norman in many, many years.
Probably since the jump around game.
That Texas Tech.
Texas Tech.
Yeah. So, anyways, but there was a national championship crowned on Monday night, and congratulations to Curt Cignetti and the Indiana Hoosiers. What a 2-year turnaround they have had.
I mean,
and just the phrase "Google me, I win." That is just a credo offered out by that man. And what did he say? If he was smart, he'd retire, but he needs the money. And
his family needs some money. Hey, that's great. He toiled for years under Saban, and turns out he may have been the best one that was on that staff. Him and Kirby. How does that work? Guys, he's promoting for head coach jobs. Cignetti has to go to Indiana University, Purdue University to.
Is that IUPUI?
IUPUI?
But he calls it IUP, I think.
Yeah, IUPI or something like that. We've seen him in the NCAA basketball tournament several times. Just, if he was like 43 instead of 63,
oh yeah,
college football world would be in trouble.
He would be, and hey, that guy, if he lays off the barley pops,
hey, let him have his beers.
Oh hell,
he doesn't even drink them by brands, just by alcohol content.
That's right. He promotes some Hoosier brand.
Well, and Dan, yes, Cignetti is brash, but for years he was undervalued, not given shots. And he finally gets his shot, and let the man talk. I mean, he's backed up everything he said. He won a national championship at friggin' Indiana.
Yeah.
Babe Laufenberg is also another NFL player that played at Indiana.
Oh, really?
There's two.
Wow. I was thinking Antoine Randall and
that's the only one I could think of.
Yeah. Congratulations to the Hoosiers, and I thought it was cool. I saw a tribute from the game day people and Coach Corso giving him a shout out, and that was pretty cool. But
So cool.
The game itself was just really a topsy turvy back and forth. I thought when Indiana's up 10 late, I'm like, okay, here they'll put the boot on them, and then Miami kept with the comeback, and probably the biggest chunk of that was because of defense and speed.
Mm-hmm.
Man, the Fletcher kid, the running back for Miami, he's going to be something to deal with on both levels.
He's
Over the next 10 years. He's reminiscent of some great Miami backs.
Yeah, I could do with without a lot of the fake tough guy stuff that they do. Hitting after the whistle, being Miami.
Well, and yeah,
that Mendoza hands the ball off, gets busted right in the chops. There's no need for that.
That's been them since the Schnellenberger era.
Just play ball, man.
Yeah, that they're not going to.
But I think I said in our group chat that Cristobal would do something stupid and it would end up costing them big time. Hey, a 5-yard penalty coming out of a timeout, that's pretty dumb. How do you do that?
Yeah.
And then it just, and that just led to the real Carson Beck standing up and being counted.
I saw a tweet that said, basically that last series was just, so opportune for his career,
Mm-hmm.
You walk out of the stadium on an interception, on a game stealing interception, and that's who he is. But
yep,
I don't know. We'll get into the pervy camera work going on with ESPN in a little bit, but I thought, I know that Fernando Mendoza's signature moment was the touchdown run, and what a run it was, and people are comparing it to a John Elway-esque type thing. But
hey,
really,
man, that was all desire right there.
Between and was this the game that both Kubiaks were the offensive coordinators?
Oh, you talking about in this playoff game with
Isn't Indiana's offensive coordinator a Kubiak?
No, he's Mike Shanahan.
Yeah, that's I knew.
No relation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, then that's why they won.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't do any Shanahan stuff at the end of the game.
No, Kyle Shanahan will never win a championship. I'll put that right down. I'll bet that one right now. Dan Narva says he wouldn't be as lovable if he was 43.
Hey, Spurrier was great when he was that. Hey, I loved Spurrier.
I thought Spurrier was
taking shots at everybody, just being himself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and so what I was saying is, to me, the back shoulder throws to Mendoza, from Mendoza to the big receiver, and I'll tell you this much, Jeremy, too, having the stones to take those throws, to run that play. How many times have we seen teams just look for the quick, easy slant to get a first down, 5-yard first down, whatever, and it's just clogged up, and it might get bounced off of the receiver's chest plate or whatever. Man, go back shoulder. It only 3 things can happen. 2 of them are bad, but one is great.
And both times, massive first downs, keep the chains moving.
Oh yeah.
And Mendoza does nothing that just jumps off the page at you that, this guy's the second coming of Peyton Manning. But he just keeps the chains moving, and he's athletic enough to piss you off. He's a pretty good. I'm not saying he's going to be a great pro. By no. I mean, who knows, right?
Well, he'll go high and get drafted by some of the worst franchises in NFL history. So
much of that is, which we're seeing play out in real time with one very near and dear to our heart, Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. Yeah. It's all about the organization you go to. You can be a good but not great quarterback and go to a really good organization and thrive.
Yeah.
You could be a great quarterback and go to the Browns and your career's probably over, or the Jets.
Oh, yeah. Rand Lindsay had checked in earlier. I think I pulled that comment up saying, good morning to you, Rand. And Dan Narva checking in from Michigan, ice cold Michigan. We're cold here in the Great Plains too. But he said he hated Spurrier, but didn't get it. Loved him later. Hey, the minute Steve Spurrier, I love the fact that he was willing to go basically a high-end run and shoot in college football.
They called it the fun and gun.
Remember when he would just rotate quarterbacks?
Yeah, it was
it Jesse Palmer and
was it Grossman?
Ooh, I don't remember Grossman. It could have been. Werfel was a steady.
I mean, none of those guys did any. Well, and Grossman quarterbacked the team to a Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
but then got clapped up in that Super Bowl. But outside of him, I mean, Werfel had a nice career as a backup.
He's got an award named after him. That's great.
Jesse Palmer's turned that into, I guess he hosts every TV show now.
Oh, he's ABC's go-to guy.
Yeah.
I know Emmanuel Acho tried, but he reverted back to Fox. But no, I tell you, when I read the quote that Spurrier referred to Florida State as Free Shoes University, I was
sold. He's my guy. I like him.
Hey, real quick, you mentioned Cignetti not getting the love on the Saban tree like he should, and not getting the promotion, that Saban gave. I'm going to relate a story to you about government work, and you probably relate to this too in your line.
Yeah.
If you're a good employee in a government position, your supervisors won't necessarily promote you. They want to keep you there and have you doing the good job that you do. On the police department, whenever some newfangled unit would come up and they would want people from patrol to go be a part of this unit, and I go back to the early 90s when they first instituted a gang enforcement unit. The initial gang enforcement unit on the Oklahoma City Police Department was all guys from patrol that supervisors in the patrol divisions didn't want to deal with anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, yeah, he'll be good for you. And they wanted to keep their good cops on the street working for them. So I wonder how much of that had to do. I mean, promote Kiffin, promote Sark. They've got Flair. They've got, even Jimbo Fisher. They've got the outside shine to make what looks like a great hire. And then what do they do when they go somewhere else? Cignetti, I mean, that guy is so rock solid. I'm sure there's a part of Saban that thought, well, I don't want to lose this guy, but then also the guy just says, hey, I'm going to go to this small job. I don't know.
He went grassroots and killed it at every level. You win a national title at Indiana.
Yeah. And I tell you, Jeremy, I sit there and I'm not jumping on Hoosier Nation bandwagon, but I had so many reminiscent thoughts about 2001 and one young Bob Stoops there on the stage accepting an award and winning a national title after being in a school for 2 years with a lot more history and relevance back in the day. But not near the I'm not comparing the climb that Cignetti's had with compared to what Stoops did, but also Stoops didn't have a portal.
Right, yeah. That 2000 Oklahoma team would get beat by 4 touchdowns by 25 Indiana just because those were kids.
Yeah. And what I'm
grown-ass men.
Yeah, what I'm getting at is just the sentiment that I saw the feelings that those guys were going through. It reminded me of watching, Sooner Nation up there going through the same thing. And I wept mightily. But anyways,
not a manly tear, just full on ugly cry, huh?
truly wept. But no, I mean, it's just such an amazing game. And, I'll tell you this much. I know kickers have one job, but when the Miami kicker doinked that field goal off of the post and now they've got the post mic'd up, so you hear the doink louder than anything in the stadium. And I'll just say this: when they showed the cutaway of him after the shot or after the kick, and he's in his 20s and he's on a college football team and he's got a paunch, I just thought, why would you have a kicker that's
Reminds you of
not?
Jimmy Stevens, huh?
Yes, yes. I don't care that all you do is kick. You might have to go field you might have to go make a tackle to save a kickoff return or something.
Well,
Don't.
McAfee was a little pudgy when he was playing, but he would lay the wood to folks.
Hey, I mean, it's all about what you got in you. But I would think plus
McAfee's a
you're
little
in
nuts.
plus you're in Miami. That tells you that their NIL is too high because he's probably able to roll around and just bounce 50s off of that paunch belly of his.
Well,
So
I mean, I hear that and seeing Michael Irvin, I hear that the what Colombian marching powder is a great weight loss drug.
I'll tell you, the Miami kicker probably ought to look into it because I'll tell you, if you got that when you're in your early 20s, you're going to look a lot like me when you get in your 50s. So not a great thing. Dan Narva, one can get on a roll with Spurrierisms. Anyway, with IU, Sig somehow was able to call out different manifestations of IU's loser mentality without alienating people. Hey, the initial, he handled the basketball informal press conference or fan town hall way better than Brian Kelly did when he got up there and just straight out said Purdue sucks and so does Michigan and Ohio State. And you talk about serving notice. I mean, that will get it done.
2 years, Big Ten championship, 2 times in the playoffs, a natty.
Yeah.
And it's 8% blue chip ratio.
Yeah, but like you said, the age range of those players, and we've talked about Kansas State for years about developing, players into ballers.
And also for years, we argued about those recruiting rankers and what's going to win these teams national championships.
Yeah.
They're not, I mean, they are important. Don't get me wrong. They're important if you can retain. But if you can go get guys that have played a lot of football, that are already grown men.
Yeah.
And that's not college. That's not what college football should be, but that's what it is.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, you think about it, and the NFL is probably going to have to restructure some things if they want to get talent before because think about this.
You're going to have a quarterbackless draft this year.
You could.
One guy.
Yeah.
One guy.
Yeah. But think about this, too. I mean, you've got some kid who's an edge rusher and could come out, maybe go, let's say, 3rd or 4th round. How many of those NFL rosters are made up with guys that are 3rd and 4th rounders that weren't, especially like, on the defense? But you're going to have a kid in college for an extra 2 years dealing with that wear and tear instead of having his wear and tear performing for your NFL franchise. And they're going to have to restructure the contracts.
You're probably going to make more money in college.
You will. That's why I say he's going to stay in college to make more money, and go through years.
Or you stay in college to avoid the Jets, like the quarterback up there at Oregon. Is it Dante Moore?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. What will next year be Arch's actual eligibility last year?
Yes.
It'll be 4 years in the system, right?
So congratulations, Arch Manning. You are a New York Jet.
Well, and
these guys that are trying to avoid the Jets, guess what? Jets are going to suck next year too, and they're going to be picking probably 1 or 2. So you're going to be a Jet.
Did you see the little Dutch boy on the sidelines trying to scout out Fernando Mendoza for the Raiders?
He pays good Yankee dollars for that haircut, sir. Yeah. You're right, Marty. Beck has been in college for 7 years. If he goes pro, it's the Chris Winkie thing. He's going to go into college. He's going to be 25 plus. He's good enough to play college. He doesn't have the strongest arm. He's a little bit mobile. He makes terrible decisions. He's not going to do anything in the NFL. He's not an NFL quarterback.
No, and he was very fortunate that Pete Golding called a zone with no spy in that Mississippi game.
Kidding.
But now Max Patton checking in from out in Beckham County. Good
morning, Max.
Give us a weather report out there, Max. I don't know if y'all are getting the stuff first or what. Max Patton is the voice of Sayre Eagles football on Right Media, where I work. I'm the voice of Weatherford sports. And we were all in tournament play, and all the tournaments that were scheduled to start yesterday got moved up to Wednesday. So everybody's basically got 2 days in, and then we'll kind of figure out what to do after the weather passes next week. But I'll be in Kingfisher next Wednesday for championships from their tournament that was supposed to happen today. But so anyways, everything sports-wise, high school in Oklahoma on hiatus right now until the weather passes. Marty Wandry, our friend from Clinton Liquor, pointing out about Carson Beck, who, I thought it was just such bad optics, Jeremy, for, and it's just what college football is. But, when he tells everybody I graduated 2 seasons ago and I don't go to class. Hell, even Matt Leinart took ballroom dancing after he finished his degree at USC.
I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Well, like I said,
most of these guys are doing their classes online because they simply just don't have time to get to a physical classroom. Sure. Now, I'm sure a student trainer is probably taking his classes for him. I think they have to be enrolled in 12 hours just to be eligible. But what does that really mean?
Thing, though?
I don't know.
I mean,
he should have a lot of letters after his name by the time he's, right now
furthering that education at all times.
PhD.
But that just points out that I've always said, take away the student athlete, or as Eric Cartman says, student athletes.
Student athlete.
Athletes. No, Max Patton says no snow, just windy as all get out in Beckham County. So thank you, Max Patton.
I'm just watching the temperature drop in real time on my phone.
Oh yeah. We went from pretty warm last night when I got home from Kingfisher to really cold this morning. But it is.
Well, since we came on the air, it's gone from 32 to 30. I don't care for that.
We were in the 20s before I got on the air out here. So
30 feels like 7.
Yeah, it is. So, and just an admonition to folks: take care of those four-leggeds. If you got dogs or cats outside, get them plenty of shelter or get them inside. John Arnold checking in. I haven't seen any numbers, but I'm assuming NCAA is making a killing off the current football climate. If they weren't, they would be changing the rules on NIL and transfer portal eligibility. It's
John, you're right.
I think he's totally right. I will say this: they're always going to be trying to fashion something, some overcorrection or some just correction to make themselves more money. But the NCAA right now, Jeremy, has to fight to keep themselves in the game.
They're completely irrelevant. But if it wasn't profitable, they'd put a stop to it. And it's very, very profitable. Now, can they still be? Yeah, Beck, Martin Wandry checking in with Beck is the modern day Tommy boy. A lot of people do go to college for 7 years.
They're called doctors.
If it wasn't profitable, they would not be involved in it. They'd put a stop to it, and it would probably make a heck of a lot more sense. The NCAA is a garbage institution, always has been. Pick and choose who they want. Hey, you see the jokes about college basketball point shaving. The first comment typically is Oklahoma State's going to get the death penalty, even though they're not involved. Oklahoma State cooperated, self-imposed sanctions, got a stiffer penalty than KU, who did not cooperate.
Who was the bigger mea culpa in the whole deal too.
Well, yeah, KU's a big brand in college basketball. We got to keep them big boys up there. We can't punish them too much.
Well, and so since we're kind of done analyzing the actual game, and congratulations to the Hoosiers, we'll delve off into our Indiana's impact on college football in this championship. And, you see Mark Cuban in the stands. You hear that they've got one of the biggest alumni, if not
they have the largest
alumni group in the country. And even the rotund guy in Oklahoma City sports radio market used to say 15, 20 years ago about how many of those Big Ten schools will graduate, 50,000 people a year or something, so the endless supply of supporters has been going on forever. And that's great. That's what the college, I'm doing air quotes, the college football, system is supposed to be about. But I think it's funny that now, and from what I understand, Cuban hasn't even been that instrumental in a lot of their stuff. He's gonna jump in, but it's not.
I'm sure.
He hasn't been their Cody Campbell yet.
No, not yet.
So the story I read on Aaron Torres's sports page is that Cody Campbell, I guess, recently did an interview where he's talking about there's going to be a shift of blue bloods, and he targeted out Auburn and Alabama and how they just are not going to have the structural support like Indiana, like Texas Tech, like Texas. So money will rule in the NCAA or in college football. What part the NCAA has in that, I think, will yet to be seen, because we'll see that the conference commissioners will yield more power than the NCAA. I promise you.
It's going to have to be the conference commissioners. They're the ones who are going to have to create the structure. Conference commissioners, university presidents, they are the ones who are going to have to step in and try to bring some sanity back to this whole process.
And players getting paid is one thing, but I would say 2-year contracts would be the easy solution to all of this. You
can't even enforce a 1-year contract, Chuck.
No, you can't. But I mean,
you got guys signing with teams and then jumping in the portal 5 minutes later, like Darian Mensah.
Yeah, and that guy, and here's another thing. And we'll get into the college basketball aspect of all this in a minute. But when the hell did local judges have the order? I mean, I know it's constitutional law and the system, but my God, some Bama yokel judge can issue a restraining order, and a guy that played in the G League for 3 seasons can suit up for Bama this weekend. I mean, this is not what anybody wants.
Yeah, well, I mean, Bama might want it, but it's crazy that, you've got a guy that was traded for Karl Anthony Towns, who's now playing college basketball somewhere. You have this kid at Alabama who's, like you said, been in the G League for 3 years, was an NBA draft pick who's going back to school.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense. Once you're a pro, you're done. We're not doing this, but we are doing this. If Bama hadn't done it, somebody else would have.
Oh, yeah. Baylor's done it. So
yeah, I know. Baylor's done it.
That would be the James Najee. And then Charles Bediako. I just really want to say Bediako on the air today. Hey, I got to say Kamchatka on a broadcast the other night.
Yeah.
Is it Kamchatka or Kamchatka?
I don't know.
It's that peninsula in far eastern Russia.
Oh, I don't know.
That's like closer to Japan, and like they've had 10 feet of snow this last week. They're showing. I've seen viral videos of people trying to dig out their cars. All right, so comments. Dan Narva, I guess grad transfers aren't exactly new, but Hertz was only at OU for 1 year. Grad transfers are one thing. There was no, I mean, if there was NIL, it wasn't really over the table. But grad transfers have been a thing.
Yeah, Hertz got a master's degree from OU.
Yeah. But now, I mean, it is the 1 and 2 year guys who just, and if you have a successful season at a group of 5 school, you can plan on having to rebuild.
Oh yeah. That is 100% certainty.
Think about what California might have done this year with Jaden Ott and Mendoza and the tight end that went to Texas. I mean, they might have been in the playoff.
Yeah, Jaden Ott, because he's renowned for his love of the game.
He's going to the Senior Bowl. So.
I saw that. That is the height of ridiculousness.
Yeah. Marty Wandry says he read that there were 1,200 players left in the portal after signing day with no school. Wow.
And their careers are over.
Well, and that's what ends up happening. Before you jump off of one lily pad, you better make sure the next one is pretty firm.
That is true.
And that's how things will correct themselves, right?
Will they?
I don't know.
The NCAA does not give a rip about these kids.
No, they don't.
They don't, because they've let it get this far.
But I'm just saying that's how you'll correct. That's how it will be corrected, with players saying, "Well, I better make sure." And that's where the tampering will come in, because you have coaches.
Those damned O'Bannon brothers.
They really ruined sports.
They ruined sports.
Yeah. Michael Busso checking in, saying good morning, Boos. Dan Narva. There's the Trinidad Chambliss case going on, and Owen Heineke.
Yeah. Owen Heineke is still waiting. He's preparing for the Senior Bowl, but I guess Trinidad is he got his injunction and he's
There
going to
you go.
play.
Get that local judge who's
Got that
on the
Ole Miss
member
alumni judges, and
get those judges in the support group or in the booster group to jump in. Max Patton, when do we get to the point where the NFL teams use colleges as minor leagues? Wow, that sounds like a familiar
we've
theme.
been there for years.
They have
We've
enough
been there
money
for years. They just don't pay them.
And could have their rights as soon as they leave college. Right now, Jeremy, it's just been a free farm league for the NFL. It's just a matter of getting them to pitch in on some of these costs and NIL things. And I don't know if it's like soccer where they have the rights to a player, but the kid's playing at Texas Tech, and then when he does go pro, they decide what they want to do with him. I don't know, but the NFL needs to be put on the hook at least financially somehow, because they are just the beneficiary of a free farm league.
That's true, but the NFL, they fought to not pay guys that were getting concussions.
Oh yeah,
and CTE and all that. So they'll fight this thing tooth and nail. They've got a limitless supply of cash laying around to pay attorneys. The NFL's never going to pay for any of this. It's a nice thought.
Yeah.
But reality says that the NFL is never going to be put on the hook for this.
Yeah, and but I mean, in my opinion, that's what needs to happen. So
it is.
Dan Narva saying figures Hurts would keep taking classes. He's got time to take classes now because Eagles got bounced by a 49ers team who got bounced by the Seahawks. So
he's got that master's in advertising, business administration, something like that to fall back on if the football thing didn't work out.
Good for him.
Yeah.
He won't have broadcasting. I don't care how much they try. He's a little devoid of personality.
He may be one of those guys that's just that way his entire career and then comes out as this dynamic personality that can control a broadcast.
He might become a sports agent and start some big, huge agency.
He very well.
Yeah. All right. So college football, as I mentioned, the Cody Campbell interview, I thought that was interesting because I think in a lot of ways he's completely right. And colleges are going to have to figure out how they fund it. But, Jeremy, there's still a little bit in me that thinks a kid who's out of and now, I know we're talking NIL or we're talking transfer portal. So it could be a junior who feels like he hasn't gotten the fair shake at a blue blood, but I think Cody Campbell's got a pretty good pulse on where college sports is going. And I think really, it will depend on how many of those 22 and 23-year-old dudes who've got 4 years in a college system, where they all decide to go.
Mm-hmm.
And that
seems to be the new model.
You mentioned the Saban tree. And so now he's got 3 natties from coaches underneath him. Well,
every
3 coaches underneath him who have national championships.
So let's see.
Jimbo, Kirby, and
Signetti. Cristobal's part of that tree. Pete Golding's part of that tree. Kiffin's part of that tree. Sark's part of that tree.
And we've had that discussion before. Are Kiffin and Sark part of Saban's tree, or were they just rehabbed by him?
They were rehabbed by him.
Yeah. I mean, they're
both part of the Carroll tree.
Yeah. LeBron James addresses ESPN.com article about the Lakers. If you know me personally, you know what I'm about.
Oh my gosh, LeBron!
I don't know you personally, and I know what he's about.
Can we just make All-Star Weekend the LeBron retirement party?
Marty Wander says maybe Jalen Hurts can get a gig with the Law Dog Sports. We'd take him. We would take him. So anyways, it was a fun college football season, Jeremy, and as reflected by our Saturday night football recaps, just so much fun, even though
Hey, you go from 6-7 to 10-3, get in the
Sure.
playoff, uh, with the deficiencies that team has had. It was exciting. It was a lot more exciting than I wanted it to be. But, you'd think
Well,
that you could, play a little better in some of the situations, but, hey, it was a great season. Second season in the SEC, make it in the playoff.
well, many of the way too early top 25s I've seen has OU in the top 10 for next
Yeah,
year.
and
Now,
and they should be.
now let's say this, everybody's top 25 last year going into August was basically out.
Mhm.
A lot of people had Penn State, Clemson, you
Heck,
know,
the AP, week 1 AP poll last year was, both
Texas and Ohio State.
their top 3 dropped completely out by week 4.
Yeah, and that was one thing about the University of Texas at Austin. Are they the first number 1 team preseason that dropped out of the poll at one time in the season?
I believe so.
Way to go.
Way to go, Texas.
Yeah, you are Texas. What happens here changes the world.
Yep.
All right.
Hey, real quick while we're still talking about college football,
Yeah,
USC hired Gary Patterson to be their defensive
I had that
coordinator.
on the list. We were gonna get
Okay.
into that, I promise. Um, there wasn't great blood between Lincoln Riley and Gary Patterson back in the 2017 season when they played twice, it was there?
Uh, I don't know. Patterson,
He might be a different bird when he's under the pressure of a coaching gig.
yeah, it's true. And, Patterson couldn't figure out how to stop that guard tackle counter that Lincoln liked to run that he blocked a gajillion different ways.
Rodney Anderson, baby.
Rodney Anderson. But I was talking with a friend of mine. He said, well, he's been through 3 defensive coordinator gigs since he left TCU. Like, yeah, but maybe without the allure of Sixth Street in Austin and Gillies, because he's got to perform. Maybe he'll focus a little more on football out there in LA.
I think they have a folk scene going on out there, and there's a lot the Whiskey a Go Go, the Viper
But,
Room.
but remember, when he was an analyst with Texas, all of a sudden Texas's defense became a lot more physical.
Sure.
And Kwiatkowski's gone now, so I don't know how much that was him, but it seemed like the defense kinda leveled off after Patterson left there. That's why they brought in Muschamp. The conspiracy theorist in me is because Sark's probably not long for Austin, and they want that head coach in waiting that's got SEC experience.
But man, I tell you, if he was going to make the move, this would have been the season. Hell, the Browns are still open. He could.
Nobody wants that job. Nobody wants to coach the Browns. Nobody wants to coach the Jets.
Jimmy Haslam, he doesn't seem like he would be the worst. I mean, I'm sure he's a bad owner, but he
He's
doesn't seem
he's
like he
the
should be
worst.
the worst.
Well, he's not the worst.
He's
That
best friends with Peyton Manning.
that owner of the Jets is the worst.
Sure.
Woody, can't think of his last name.
Woodenhofer.
I don't know. But the Jets are a dumpster fire. The Browns are a dumpster, and they kept the GM that traded their entire future for Deshaun Watson, who's played 16 games in 4 years.
Well,
And
is Rob Ryan still on staff with USC, or did he get the boot?
he may no longer be on staff. Last I saw, he was. Boy, you'd have a couple dogs in that defensive room if you had Rob Ryan and
Oh
and
yeah,
Patterson over there.
yeah. The Musk would be
Oh
running
my
rampant.
gosh, the Musk.
Yeah. No, I tell you, it's very interesting to have seen that, and Lincoln Riley is just going to be that guy throughout. And I say that, and they'll reel off a big playoff run next year, but
I mean,
he's
I can
that guy.
see that.
He's that guy that's just never going to really get that side of the ball figured out.
He's
And I don't
never
know
gotten
why.
it right in his entire head coaching career. Now, if anybody, a guy who's established as having teams with great defenses is Gary Patterson. He's helped everywhere he's gone. I think he's still got something left in the tank. And the recruits they get, the guys they get in the portal at SC, there should be no excuses.
No, I mean, and they, we've had this conversation before. They are a blue blood, right?
Yes, they are.
So you got the brand, you got the logo, you got the scenery, you got LA.
That's right. You got
You
drive-bys in practice.
got the weather,
You've
beautiful.
got a lovely, lovely area that the practice facility is in. You play in one of the most modern, beautiful stadiums in the country with just a rabid fan base that shows up every time.
And since we've already quoted Tommy Boy today, I'm going to quote him again. I'm picking up on your sarcasm.
Because I'm laying it on pretty thick.
2 Tommy Boy quotes in one episode. That is some high quality listening. And that's why we cosplay sports talk radio here on Law Dog.
That's
Sports.
right.
Anyways, but yeah, I mean, Patterson, obviously a great defensive mind. He did amazing things at TCU. I think was helped a lot by the Franchione forerunner part of that. But still, you got it. He took that team from the Mountain West to the Big 12 and really was relevant for a long time.
And he was his best when he had an offensive coordinator that he did not have to mentor too much. When he had Cumbie and who was the other one? They were both tech guys. Meacham.
Yeah.
So, he's going to be worried about the defensive side of the ball. The offense is something that's going to be good because it's Lincoln Riley. And as much disdain as I hold for Lincoln Riley as a person, that man can put an offense out there.
He can move the ball.
It is amazing.
Sure. All right. Well, anyways, congratulations, Gary Patterson. And I'm sure if Rob Ryan is still on staff, that'll be some amazing defensive meetings.
Of course, they may be fast friends and be too busy drinking old cold beer that
I was going to
get a lot done.
I mean, one thing about it is you can hack on the Ryans and Rex has a foot fetish and got veneers that make
those giant chiclets in his mouth.
Yeah,
looks like the mask.
But Rob, he's looked like, I mean, he can probably navigate LA pretty well because he can resemble a homeless guy pretty quick.
Does he still have the mullet?
Oh yeah. The last time I saw him and he was doing a press conference with, taking that USC gig was the big long hair, and stuff. But, and I'll give him a lot of credit. He didn't have a lot to work with in the 90s under Bob Simmons when he took that defensive coordinator job at OSU, but they went out. I mean, he's going to coach aggression and he's going to coach.
They're going to play hard, they're going to be physical.
And they're going to rush the quarterback. And you may bomb us for 98 yards like Major Applewhite did on Rex, but we're going to come after you. And, I'll always I say this, and I say this time and time again. I don't think Bob Stoops has the dogs on the defensive side that he needed without Rex Ryan and Phil Bennett in 98, having that side of the ball pretty squared away for OU.
They had Calmus, Ante Jones.
A
lot of those guys were playing on the other side of the ball, if you'll remember.
Yeah, they were. I think Romero had Romero as a defensive tackle. Then
he moved over to guard, and then JT Thatcher, who had like 40 interceptions, was a running back.
Yeah, JT Thatcher, one of the great free safety seasons in all of OU football. I mean,
but Book Brandon Everidge was a Ryan guy.
Yeah, and then I think Roy Williams and Damian Mackey came in.
Williams and Mackey, yeah. Mackey came in as a corner and moved him over to receiver.
Yeah,
same thing with Antoine Savage.
Now they didn't move Woolfolk to cornerback until 2001.
Right.
So, but I mean, hey, it worked out. All right. So, Gary Patterson, congratulations on your new gig. Speaking of, former head coaches and, I don't even have a transition to this. Let's just say this. OU basketball is really in the hurt locker right now.
They are, they haven't gelled. They're just good enough to get their ass beat. They go out there, they play hard, they keep it close. Will even, look good coming down the stretch after against Alabama. They had a decent lead and then just fell apart.
Yeah. Well, and it's bad when they lose to South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And then just earlier in the week, I saw South Carolina getting profiled on Bad Beats. And then, to talk about the struggles in Columbia, I'm like,
the only arena emptier than the LNC is South Carolina's arena, and they couldn't even go down there and get a win.
Yeah. I saw on the scroll on the television here in the studio that Fernando Mendoza did declare for the NFL draft.
Does he have any eligibility left?
I don't know.
I don't think he does.
Oh, I would imagine. I would imagine.
And I want to gripe about something here. You don't have any eligibility left. Why are you tweeting out a graphic that you're declaring for the NFL? That's what you do. That's what you do when you're out of eligibility. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Maybe hey, thanks. This is, it's been great being here. Memories last a lifetime. I don't need, with that being said, I'm declaring, no, you don't have any eligibility, brother.
Well, his brother entered the portal the night of the national championship win.
Yeah, and I think he's going to Purdue. Is that right? No, Georgia Tech.
Yeah, it's Georgia. So Winky's there, isn't he? My Winky is a key.
Winky's at Georgia Tech?
I think he's the offensive coordinator at Georgia Tech.
Oh, they must have just hired him.
No, well, he was in the bowl game. That's where I'm getting at.
Yeah,
the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Yeah, because they lost their OC left. Is that right?
Well, I don't know the chain, but I just know at the Pop-Tarts Bowl when Georgia Tech took on BYU,
the People's Championship,
DT was there. Winky was there in the booth. My Winky is a key.
Was Torrance Marshall somewhere staring at him?
Yeah. Got my boy Sophie. Hey, we're gonna make it an hour episode today, but OU basketball struggling, but man, OU women's basketball got a huge win over South Carolina at the LNC, and
is it Aaliyah Chavez?
Aaliyah Chavez, man,
wow.
15 points in the overtime, and
that girl she just checked out, was unconscious, and was hitting everything she was throwing at that backboard.
Well, I'm gonna throw out, after the Indiana National Championship, the Twitter page Freezing Cold Takes was on full display with all of the Indiana doubters over the past 2 seasons. One in particular, the Pencil Neck Chamber of Commerce director for the city of LA, who said never invite Indiana again to the playoff. But I'm going to throw out my own freezing cold take, even though nobody probably saw it, but I do remember he responded. When they signed Aaliyah Chavez, I'm always a day behind, or I'm always, if it were horse racing, I would always pick the horse that would come in second. Because I thought that former Bethany Lady Bronco Keziah Lofton showed me enough in her high school career that she would be just as prominent as Aaliyah Chavez. And Parker Thune tweeted out the Aaliyah Chavez signing and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I just said, don't sleep on Keziah Lofton. Well, Keziah is playing. She's part of that team and she contributes. But that's typical Chuck Ramsey. I mean, I'm the guy that said I would have took Carmelo Anthony over LeBron James. So therein lies my talent evaluation, and I will do a full mea culpa on my initial thinking about Aaliyah Chavez. She's the real deal. She's got the moxie. She is her.
Yeah. It's very she was the number one women's high school basketball player.
Yeah.
In the country. And she is, she's playing like it. Heck, that game last against South Carolina. I mean, that's
number 2 team in this country?
That's a good team, well coached, good players.
Yeah.
And just went unconscious in overtime. 15 points in overtime. That's a 5-minute session, right?
That's a lot of points,
bro.
Yeah.
I mean, women's basketball, especially college, at times can be difficult to watch, but at least I understand the rules, so I can watch it a little easier than I can watch the men's game. They play 4 quarters. I'm not like, wait, what's going on? Why are they? Yeah. But for her to do that against South Carolina, that's a big coming out party.
It is. Yeah, it's serving notice in the SEC, and they had fallen pretty hard to LSU earlier, and that's a tough one to swallow. But man, you talk about a bounce back, and we know this about college basketball. It's all about who gets on a roll.
What was Kim Mulkey wearing that night? And was it very distracting for our ladies out there?
I just I think the only thing I checked was to see if Lane Kiffin walked out arm in arm with her.
She probably had LEDs all taped all over her pantsuit and just
real quick
just
and
walking distraction.
Real quick, and I've got a she had Christmas bulbs hanging. Real quick, and then I've got an outtake story or a takeout story for you. NFL playoffs this weekend. Rams, Seahawks. No Bo Nix for the Broncos as Drake May and the Patriots visit Mile High. Jarrett Stidham starting for the Broncos, the former Baylor Bear. And I heard somebody breaking down his career, and they threw out that he was from Stephenville and recruited and played for Art Briles. So Coach CAB still out there making an impact.
I was talking with the guy yesterday, like, we were talking about Baylor and Oklahoma State, and that era came up. And it's like, and Sean Oakman's name come up. If you remember Sean Oakman, the absolute chiseled, he looked like the big defensive end that was 6'8", just
didn't do much, did he?
Well, he was implicated in one of those sexual assault cases down there, and he was ultimately acquitted of all charges, but he has not gotten a shot in the NFL. He's playing in the Canadian Football League. I think he's set a sack record up there. Still hasn't gotten a shot in the NFL. But I was like, how many guys from CAB's tenure are active in the NFL from Baylor at that time? And Stidham's name came up. Like, yeah, but he transferred to Auburn, so he got the stank off him a little bit.
Sure.
But, RG3, Josh Gordon, who was the other receiver that was down there? Anyways.
Keep on saying Cam somebody, but
yeah.
I think that was Matt Rule.
Yeah, I don't think anybody from
Briles didn't have the kid that transferred from Tennessee, did he?
That was the running back that transferred to Baylor to play receiver.
Yeah, I think
remember him, but I don't think he's still playing.
Was that Aranda?
I don't know. I think it might have been Aranda. Anyways, there was a lot of bad stuff going on down there at that time, and but the Oakman thing, if he was found innocent, I don't know why someone just hadn't taken a flyer on him.
Yeah, if you're dominating in the Canadian Football League, I mean, talking about a way more spread out system. But hey,
if you could rush a passer, you could rush a passer.
Exactly. Everybody's got their reasons.
So, all right, playoffs. Let's get back on track.
I'm just gonna say this: if the Rams don't get it done, then they never will again. Because I don't trust Darnold, even at home in the playoffs. I just don't trust him. And then the other sides have great defenses. But, I mean, I saw Louis Riddick when I looked up, and Louis Riddick's on Get Up this morning. He said he feels like Matt Stafford's probably the most talented arm quarterback, still
after all the injuries.
And the guy can fling it, and he's a steadying force. I just kind of feel like the Rams will get it done. I mean,
I do too.
You go to Chicago and you're playing that whole mess there, and you get the win, and then I would probably say, I would have to put, if I was going to put money on it, it'd probably be the Rams the way out.
Part of me is pulling for Seattle. Just what better indictment of these horribly owned and ran organizations would it be for Sam Darnold to go win a Super Bowl?
Yeah. I mean, you talk about the Jets and who? The Panthers?
Jets, Panthers, Vikings. Well, no, Vikings.
Because
they should have kept him.
They moved off of him so quick. They should totally get called out.
But, I mean, Ziggy Wolf is not a terrible owner. Not like the Jets, the Browns. Yeah. And I want to see this happen. I want to see like Baker, Darnold, all these guys that have toiled away in these horrible hellmouth cities that are just run into the ground constantly by these dumbass owners.
Yeah.
I want the NFL to step in and say you're selling the team because of this.
Well, like, I wasn't surprised by the McDermott firing after Buffalo lost that last weekend.
I wasn't either, but then I was really surprised with the
Keeping the
fallout.
GM.
Oh no, the
I
coaching
don't
staff
understand keeping
wanted
the
Keon
GM.
Coleman.
It's like the Giants. If I fire Daboll, I'm firing that other guy too.
You got to fire the guy that hired him.
Exactly.
And stuck by him.
And fire the guy that gave him shit pieces to throw out on the field. Of course, now, I mean, I think the Giants probably have some pieces going forward, but
that's a great organization, but and good for Harbaugh. His deal was contingent on I don't report to Joe Shane. I report to the owner.
Yeah. Well, and that'll always work well.
Well, hey, what better way to get a GM that let Saquon walk for pennies on the dollar?
Yeah. Does Brent Venables report to Jim Nagy?
No.
Who's going to be the new AD? Are they going to get Kenny Selman?
I think everybody reports to oh my gosh, what's his name? It was in my head and then it fell out. Who's the director of football ops?
Curtis Lofton?
No, the guy that he ran AT&T and now he's
oh yeah, that guy. I don't remember the name.
I think he reports to him.
All right.
Personally.
Comment on the comment line. Marty Wandry, as a Chiefs fan, not to sound bad, but Denver beating the Bills and then losing their quarterback next to last play, not ever really wanting to see anybody get hurt, was the best of both worlds.
Well, yeah, Bo Nix breaking his ankle on a kneel down. I mean,
what in the world?
It was comedy.
God.
I don't know. If you're just trying to get position, just hand it off and tell him to run there. Don't put your quarterback in that spot.
Mendoza, he took a beating on that last kneel down there in the final.
Well, that was because his defensive back on the other side of the ball didn't know where the hell he was when he decided to take a knee.
Just go down right there, man.
Just go to the 10. Just bring it back to the 10 and fall down.
Something.
Give us some.
I don't know if he meant to go down when he did, but hey,
even if you take a safety there, you're probably okay.
It reminded me of the Rhett Bomar kneel down against Oregon in the holiday. Didn't he get a personal foul? Didn't he get a unsportsmanlike and kicked him back half the distance, and he's having to kneel it at the half-yard mark?
I think so.
I think that was how that went.
They had to run a sneak in there.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I'll probably take Denver over New England, even though they don't have their quarterback. I think that defense probably gets after Drake May pretty well. But, man, I mean, the Patriots, what a comeback under Mike Vrabel. I mean, and how does Tennessee feel after that guy goes up there and turns them around in one season?
Tennessee, yeah, that was because I remember we talked about it on this show when they fired him. It's like, why did they fire him? I mean, everybody gets a bad year.
And that's the NFL for you, Jeremy. And we say this about college football programs, teams that, I know it's a different ordeal now, but, I go back to the Texas Tech firing Matt Wells situation. At the time, who did you think you were going to get, and what did you think they were going to accomplish?
You better have someone better on deck, and it better not be Gerard Mayo.
No kidding. But then
who did they? Because they fired the guy a year after they fired Vrabel.
Yeah, Mayo. I think. Oh, you talking about Tennessee?
Yeah, he wasn't there.
Yeah,
he made it a year. It's Callahan. He was there for a season and a half.
Yeah,
you give Vrabel a quarterback, and he builds a culture.
Yeah,
and that's what he's done in New England, and he's just building the New England culture. What better place to do it than New England?
Sure.
You give him
you'll be beloved.
You give him a clone of Tom Brady and a good defense, and let's see what happens.
But I will take LA and the Broncos, one road team, one travel team.
Well, since we haven't had a Patriots-Rams Super Bowl this decade, we're going to have one this year. Patriots-Rams. Rams are your Super Bowl champions.
So was it 2017, 2018 when Jared Goff played the Patriots?
Yes, and then greatest show on turf against the Patriots
Okay.
was Tom Brady's first Super Bowl.
Yeah, I remember that, but I'm just you said this decade, and I was thinking about the Goff Super Bowl, and that was okay.
That was the 10-3 game or
Yeah.
something like that. That was just awful to watch.
Your Oklahoma City Thunder got the win last night over the Milwaukee Bucks on the road. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with 40 points on maybe one of the most efficient shooting nights in the history of basketball, 16 of 19.
Gotta hit those layups.
Yeah, he criticized himself on Scott Van Pelt about some missed layups, and that will happen. I guess that was actually Wednesday night, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Wednesday night.
Okay. Last night, the Mavericks got the win over the Warriors. Man, prayers and thoughts to Jimmy Butler. I feel so bad for that guy. Spurs got the 126-109 win over the Jazz. And then tonight, it's the Thunder hosting the Pacers. I know that weather could affect attendance at that game, but your Thunder team without Jalen Hurts, without Isaiah Hartenstein, who else are they without? I mean, not Jalen Hurts, Jalen Williams.
J-Dub.
Yeah.
iHeart is out. Caruso is day-to-day every day.
Can I just say something that you're probably not going to appreciate?
What's that?
Caruso sucks so bad at finishing at the bucket. Why can't you're in the NBA? Why can't you make a layup?
That's not why they brought him there.
Don't care. You get wide open shots. You're a professional. Make a freaking layup.
That's not
He's going to cost them down the road. I promise you. I will mark this day down. January 23rd, 2026. Alex Caruso's inability to finish at the bucket will cost the Thunder.
Man, we are just recycling conversations.
That's what we do. And, speaking of January 23rd, happy birthday to my oldest son, Cody. Today is his birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Cody.
Yeah, and I tried to invite him to come on the show, but I think he worked overnight last night, so he's probably crashed. But, talk about a life-changing moment. The first time you become a father, it changed my world immediately.
It does.
Kudos to him for being such a good kid. We appreciate it. And happy birthday, Cody. Yeah, I've got AJ Mitchell out for the Thunder, Hartenstein, Wiggins, J Dub.
This is tonight.
Caruso, yeah. So it's going to be.
They just got to. They got to
get Lou Dort and some dudes.
They got to get healthy.
Yeah. Marty Wandry checking in. How much did he cost them last season in the NBA champs? Well, I mean, came down close.
Marty, we're at the point of the season where we're having the conversation about the Thunder not being a playoff contender.
Repeating is hard, Jeremy.
I know.
Happy birthday to Cody from Dan Narva. Thank you, Dano. And we're going to exit on a story since Marty Wandry has been active here on this broadcast, and I've got the Clinton Liquor Store logo up there. Clinton Liquor, 1018 South 10th Street in Clinton, Oklahoma. Find them online at clintonliquor.com, and we appreciate Marty Wandry. You've tailgated a bunch with Marty over the last couple of years at OU games, but CBS had a story on Wednesday, Jeremy, that the 5 of the biggest alcohol makers in the world are sitting on what's described as a lake of unsold alcohol as people are drinking less than they used to.
I'm one of them.
I haven't been dry January, but here's what I did. We went to Louis one time in Yukon back about probably 2.5 weeks ago. And I always get the pizza at Louis, and I had a couple of Miller Lights, the short ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's been it for January for me. And I haven't been drinking at home. Haven't been drinking. So I guess we're part of the problem, and we should jump back in with full feet to support Clinton Liquor.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Marty. I have not had an alcoholic beverage since November 22nd.
No doubt.
And the only reason I know that is because that was the day that – oh, no, I'm sorry, November 29th. The Oklahoma LSU game, yes.
Yeah, and you were drinking heavily after that offensive performance, I bet.
No, I was good after that. I knew it wasn't going to be pretty because it never was.
Yeah.
It was grimy.
Well, I'll say this. I'm feeling under the weather, so there could be a hot toddy involved this weekend.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it does seem like, and I saw that weirdo RFK Jr. talking about alcohol, just because it took his voice doesn't mean it's going to take mine. But I don't know. There has been a backlash against the spirits seemingly in this culture.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just a fitness thing, or is?
I mean, that's most of the reason for me is, you know, it's hard for I don't sleep well when I
I
have a
think
few
that's
drinks.
probably the
So
biggest tick, and we're probably not really doing any favors for a sponsor here on the program talking about this, but I think at my age, that's kind of what it boils down to is that I can have a few beers and I'm not necessarily going to drink. I'm not necessarily going to sleep very well.
don't worry. In my younger days, I probably kept Bud Light flying off the shelves in Norman, Oklahoma.
Well, I mean, I think I've done my share to try to make Lone Star beer, keep the lights on over the years.
You got to keep sending it here if it keeps getting bought.
They've never sent light.
Yeah.
Never been able to get Lone Star light anywhere.
And Chuck, if you're not doing it that often, then why go light?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah,
it's
you're right.
pointless.
Now, I'll say this: over the holidays, the Shiner Seasonal was in the repertoire pretty steady. But
I am a big fan of Shiner, especially Bach in the cold weather. It sounds kind of good. I may break the fast. We're almost out of.
I got the seasonal because I like peaches and pecan flavoring in my beer. Dan Narvis said I can certainly see NA beers growing in what's NA?
Non-alcoholic.
Oh, okay. Growing in popularity and quality based on what I remember of non-alcoholic. 2 beers is my typical limit, weekends only, but I sometimes breach that if the music's good. There's another thing. I haven't really had a lot of garage time with my Amazon playlist out there, which, speaking of, we said in the year 2026 we were going to start breaking out a segment called 90s bangers that we missed. I didn't get any research done on it, so we'll have to pick that up next week.
Well, what I want you to do this week is load Screaming Trees into your playlist and just listen.
Yeah, I like some Mark Lanigan. I like stuff he did with Mad Season on with Lane Staley.
Yeah.
And then I've got a video on tap. I could probably post it to the Law Dog Facebook page. But the Museum of Pop Culture in Seattle did a whole big 2-hour-long video back during COVID as a tribute to Alice in Chains. And they have all these other performers that did their take on Alice in Chains classics. I think Korn did Wood, and then Mastodon did Again, and then Mark Lanigan and some woman who's an amazing steel guitar player did Nutshell. And holy cow, that's when I don't need to be in my garage drinking beer. I'll just say that. But anyways, if you get out to Clinton, Oklahoma, after we just shot down the whole alcoholic content drinking, if you're out west, you can stop in at Clinton Liquor with just a quick exit there on 10th Street. And also, Clinton Liquor had a lottery ticket sold this year that yielded a gentleman $100,000. So something to think about.
Is it Cody Parks in the Dirty South?
On what?
That did the Nutshell cover?
No, it was Mark Lanigan before he died.
Mark Lanigan. Okay. Yeah.
And a girl named Emily Bjorklund on steel guitar.
Okay. I'm looking for it.
Yeah. It's all there's a whole bunch of videos, or you can watch the whole 2-hour thing. It's the Museum of Pop Culture in Seattle.
I've got it. Okay.
They did some interviews with Jerry Cantrell.
Maggie Bjorklund.
Maggie Bjorklund. Yeah.
All right. Got it.
That will, I would say listen to it now. Don't listen to it later in the day. Michael Busso says, be safe this weekend. I'm going to use that as an exit. Everybody be safe this weekend. If you don't have to get out, don't. Oh, did you see that? The Miami, Indiana game had 30 million viewers?
I can see that.
And it was still 4th behind Texas USC, I think Ohio State and Oregon and Texas and Alabama in 09. So, but people had a lot less options in 05 and 09 also.
That is true.
All right. So congratulations to the Indiana Hoosiers. Thank you for changing the entire dynamic of college football. We'll look forward to seeing what happens next year. Any parting thoughts?
No, just don't get out this weekend. Say a prayer for me Sunday when I got to go back to work.
Yeah. Hopefully, surely things will be cleared off some so you can make it there. Well, we appreciate our sponsor, Clinton Liquor Store and CCW Safe. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. Be sure and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter X at Law Dog Sports. Please, please, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and our content. We'll put out this video later in the day here on the YouTube channel as well. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate everybody who jumped in on the comment line. We want to interact with you. Be sure you do the same. I'm Chuck Ramsey. He's Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airwaves. Be safe out there. Don't text to drive and sure don't drink and drive. We'll talk to you real soon.